Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in the between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, 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 live Will Rose. What's up, Will Rose? Jed Derry? Or is that Jed Derry? Jed Derry. Okay. Was that Ray? Renari Johnson. What's up, Renari? Bobby Howard. We got Sean. We got Helen. Let's see. Chaos. Michael. Julius. Alicia. What up, Vibe? Tyler, Texas in the house. Broderick Allen, what's up, Brod? Julius Davis, what it do? Sky's the limit. Jacksonville, Florida, checking in. I see Philly in the house. I am Chrissy. What's up? Mac Mitchell, Detroit. What up, Detroit? Going in, fam. Going in. I'll come back to the comments later. Got a full show, a packed show. Let's start off with talking about Elon Musk. You got Elon Musk, who has revealed that he is afraid to go out in public following Charlie Kirk's murder. We got an update on Rob Reiner and his wife's double homicide. We have a white woman who has a child who's on the darker side. And she told her husband, hey, this is a result of my ancestry. It's down the line, but nevertheless, you know, this child is yours, man. And you need to stand up and man up. We got a House Oversight Committee member who says that Donald Trump, your president, and Steve Bannon was very well aware, had to be very well aware of what Epstein was doing with little girls. Gayle King is 70 years old and she's still looking for love. Yeah, we're going to speak on that briefly. Trey Songz was arrested. We'll talk about that. But first, let's get into this breaking news, fam. Let's get into this breaking news of the FBI thwarting a so-called attack on New Year's Day. Check it out.
As I mentioned in my talking points, on December 12th, a group of individuals, again, members of this anti-government group, traveled out to the desert to test their explosive devices. They had precursor chemicals there, and they were going to create these bombs in the desert. What they are starting to do is put their chemicals and wares and the components out on the table there. This footage that you're watching is from our surveillance plane, and then what happened after this is the Los Angeles FBI SWAT team, along with the FBI's hostage rescue team, moved in and arrested all 4 subjects without incident.
So now we'll take some questions.
You mentioned these 5 companies. Can you get more specific about
Yeah, we're not naming the victim companies, but I'll generally describe them as logistics centers. You can think of like Amazon-type logistics centers, but we're not naming the specific companies at this time.
Can you elaborate on the locations?
There were at least 5 locations that they intended to target within Orange County and Los Angeles County. Again, we're not giving out the specific sites, but they were willing and...
We're listening to officials out in California updating on what they say was a foiled terror plot planned for New Year's Eve. The head of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California says officials arrested 4 members of a far-left anti-government domestic terror cell who self-identify as the Turtle Island Liberation Front. The officials say the arrest happened Friday after the group tried to construct and detonate IEDs out in the desert. I want to bring in our contributor, former FBI agent Brad Garrett, for more on that. Brad, what do you make of what they're saying so far, that they stopped this attack before it happened, that it was planned for New Year's Eve, and that this group planned to detonate a number of explosive devices?
So it strikes me this is another undercover operation potentially. In other words, there was at least an agent or an informant in with this group, because how would you know to run aerial surveillance unless you had somebody on the ground telling you that was about to occur? So that's the ideal place you want to be. We've heard about it multiple times in terrorism plots where an informant or an individual works an FBI undercover agent into the scenario, and then they start recording and get a lot of incriminating information. But it's also the way, Diane, you just stop these attacks. We say countless times, you can't stop something unless you know about it. And this one, they knew about it. And were able to, once they collected the information, the intelligence, the evidence they needed, but obviously before any attack, they made the arrest. So it looks like hats off to them.
All right, fam. By a show of hands, who believes them? Give me a thumbs up if you believe this report. If you believe that this is not propaganda, this actually happened. We had some anti-Israeli people out there that planned an attack on the U.S. on New Year's Eve. They're coming for your head, and you should be scared. Give me a thumbs up if you believe this report. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, nah, I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe again. I can't trust it. I'll give you a few moments to think about it. Okay, time's up. Family, here's my thoughts on that. First and foremost, I have to put this in historical context because I just don't believe anything this government says. I don't believe. And anytime I hear the government, someone speaking on behalf of the government, I hear the opposite as the truth. I'm just wired like, and look, fam, this is not coming out of nowhere. This is years of conditioning. This is years of evidence. But, allow me to put it in historical context. Historically, the FBI founder J. Edgar Hoover widely used propaganda and other covert counterintelligence measures as a consistent and significant part of its operations, particularly through the controversial COINTELPRO program. These efforts were intended to disrupt, discredit, and destroy domestic political groups perceived as threats. Disrupting groups. The FBI actively sought to exploit all avenues of creating further dissension among targeted groups, such as the Black Panther Party, to weaken them internally. They did no such thing to the KKK. The Bureau pressured networks. Listen to this, fam. They pressured networks to dismiss progressive workers, compiled blacklists, and worked to control how it was portrayed in the media, contributing to a high public approval rating during Hoover's era. Targeting individuals, the FBI engaged in extensive surveillance and covert operations against civil rights leaders, including Martin Luther King Jr., with the goal of discrediting him among the public and government officials. So we know this stuff is still going on, right? We know that the government has a long, sordid history of making things up, making things appear to be one thing when they're really something else. I mean, they go as far as mock funerals, mock executions, assassinations, killing U.S. citizens, framing U.S. citizens, destroying U.S. citizens' lives. Family, I wish I could say that that was the past and we have grown. I wish I could put this in modern context and say that in recent years, the nature of the FBI's engagement has shifted and that they were focusing more on public focusing more on public transparency. But nah, man, I don't believe it. I'm not trusting none of it. I'm not trusting none of it. And I don't believe that 9/11 was a foreign attack. I don't believe it. More and more evidence comes out every day that supports 9/11 being a staged act. It was staged. Now, people were killed. Believe that. That was real. Thousands of people did die. But it's just too many little things that happened, too many alleged coincidences. No. Nah, man. I don't trust it. I do not trust it. Now, why would you guys, someone would say, well, why would the government go through all of this stuff? Why would they be trying to make it seem like somebody who is sympathetic of Palestine would be trying to make an attack on the U.S.? Well, perhaps it has something to do with the fact that somebody wants to make us believe that so that when they ride on Palestine, nobody cares. After all, they tried to ride on us, right? I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You do what you want to do. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. I don't believe it. Elon Musk, fam. Elon Musk has revealed that he is afraid to go out in public after witnessing what happened to Charlie Kirk. Why do I keep saying Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk. Elon Musk is afraid to go outside. Yeah. Elon Musk don't want no parts of going outside. Elon talks about how when he is in public, it turns into a selfie event. People start asking him for selfies and stuff like that. And next thing you know, it's a long line. And so he don't feel safe. You don't say. Elon don't feel safe. Something don't sound right about that. He's the richest man in the world and he don't feel safe. He's the richest man in the world. How did this get up here? Get out of here, man. He's the richest man in the world and he don't feel safe. Make it make sense. When I hear Elon talk like that, what that tells me is that something ain't right with his spirit. Because if he genuinely believes that he's good with the people and he's doing right by people, if he don't feel like he's out there circumventing justice, if he don't feel like that he's out there harming people, then he would have no need to feel, to feel like his life was in danger. I believe Elon feels the way he feels. He feels threatened because Elon is not a good person. I think Elon Musk is a horrible person. And that's why he's scared. And let me tell you something, family. I'm glad he's scared. I'm glad. So now he can know how we feel. Yeah, I'm absolutely glad that he's afraid. Yeah, he's the richest man in the world and he's scared to come outside. Ain't that something? That is very telling, right? All you got to do, man, in most cases, is treat people fair, pack fair, be kind. I would say treat people how you want to be treated, but some people like being treated badly. Some people are sick like that. They get off to being treated bad. So I won't say treat people like you want to be treated, but all of us know what decency looks like. All of us know, and we choose to be decent or indecent. We choose to be kind or unkind. We choose to love or hate. Elon Musk chooses to hate. Every day he wakes up, he's preoccupied with Black folks and how to harm Black people and make their day bad. He constantly spews racist rhetoric and shares it on his X platform all day, every day. If he wasn't doing all of that, perhaps he wouldn't be concerned about that, because really it's people who have that Charlie Kirk type energy who is more afraid of going out in public than anybody. It's those type of people. Elon Musk been sitting back behind that computer, hiding behind X, and saying all kinds of disparaging things about not just Black people, but so many other people. And now he's scared. Now he's scared. This explains why he carries his son with him all the time. Because I can guarantee you, if it go down, Elon is going to use his son as a shield. I promise you, he's one of those types. I can guarantee you he'll be one of those types. As soon as everywhere he sees somebody turn, he's going to have his son like this, like, yeah, that's him. That's him. What are you afraid of, bro? What you so afraid of? When you ain't walking around creating enemies, starting a bunch of unnecessary ruckus, you don't have anything to worry about. You don't have those type of worries. Yeah, anything could happen to anybody. Good things, bad things do happen to good people, but Elon Musk is not a good person. Usually, if you keep your nose, keep your nose clean, keep your head down, take care of your business, and, try to be a good person, usually you avoid a lot of the bad stuff. Usually. There's always exceptions. But Elon is not like that. He's not a lot different from the average internet troll. All he does is spew negativity, and he gets to hide behind his business successes. He gets to hide behind, Tesla and his space programs and stuff like that. He gets to hide behind stuff like that because he knows that most Americans care nothing about, they don't care about anything more than they care about money. So if you got some money, if you got some status, some success, they'll give you a pass for being a horrible person. They want to take pictures with you. They want to do business with you. They want to kick it with you. Women want to give you sex. They don't care if you're a horrible person. They're looking for an opportunity, even if that opportunity is only to be able to take a picture with them. They want an opportunity. If he didn't have the type of energy that he has, I don't think he would be afraid to walk outside. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, you can see him on any given day at the local McDonald's, sitting down with no security. Lived in a modest house. I actually went by his house once. Lives in a very modest community. Lives in a modest house. His house is probably one of the smallest houses. His house is right on a corner. Average size, I would say it's about an average size house. It's not really a small house, but it's not big at all. It's not big by no means. And just eyeballing it, if it was in, let's say, a moderate neighborhood, it would look to be worth about, a couple $100,000. But because it's in the neighborhood that it's in, a richer neighborhood, you would assume that it's probably worth about $1 million, right? But this is one of the richest men in the world, and he come and goes freely. You look at Mike Judge. I don't think Mike will mind me telling y'all this story. But Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead, we were hanging out we were hanging out at a local bar in his neighborhood once. And I drove because I was, I came in from LA. I was coming in from LA. He lives in a suburban neighborhood in LA. So I drove. So he asked me to drop him off when we were done. He asked me to drop him off at his house. And I said, well, and this is the pre-Uber days. I said, how'd you get here? He said, I walked. Family. I was like, you walked? He said, yeah, I walked. And I'm thinking to myself, Mike Judge, you just can walk the streets, like you can just walk, and his house was probably at least 10 blocks from the bar. So I'm like, damn, you walked, you can just walk down the street like this and nobody will mess with you. He could do that because he ain't out there messing with people. He can live his life and not have to worry about somebody taking his head off because he ain't out there ruining people's lives. He's not out there spewing negativity. See, Elon Musk, he has a demented spirit. He has a dark heart. So that's why he feels threatened. That's why he can't walk the streets without 100 bodyguards. That's why. Usually when I'm in the city, I move around freely by myself, usually. You catch me, anybody in Houston that know me, they'll tell you, usually I'm by myself when I'm rolling, usually. On certain occasions, I may have other people with me or whatever, but typically, a gas station, grocery store, event, whatever, I'll pull up all by myself because I'm not out here messing with people. I'm not out here starting unnecessary beefs. I'm not out here creating drama. So I don't have that same fear that a lot of these other guys have. Some of these guys be on this internet talking all reckless every day, and they can't go nowhere without a big old posse. They can't go nowhere without security. They can't even put their names on flyers because they've created so many enemies. If somebody find out where they're gonna be, they're gonna get their heads knocked off. So when they pop up, they gotta pop up and pop out. They gotta get up out of there. And that's why a lot of these dudes, they'll show up in somebody's neighborhood or a city or whatever, take pictures and videos and stuff, and then they get out. They wait till they get all the way up out of there before they post it. They be posting the pictures and stuff the next day or an hour later, or whatever, because they know they're gonna get their head knocked off if somebody find out where they are. Treat people right, man. Be a decent person. You ain't got to be a great person. You ain't got to be great, but hey, man, pack fat, be solid. And you won't have those problems, Elon, the richest man in the world, scared to death. Family, let's get into this story of Rob Reiner and his wife Michele's murders. Man, this is cold-blooded. This is cold. This is ice cold-blooded right here. This is ice cold-blooded. It's one thing that they were killed. It's a whole other thing when you discover who actually killed them. That uncivilized mutt on the right is their son, Nick. Nick is accused of killing his mother and his father, slashing their throats. Let me tell you something, fam. Rob Reiner was like one of my favorite TV characters of all time. I absolutely loved his role. I mean, he's done a lot of great stuff in TV and film. He's most noted, actually, for most people over the years as a great director. He's directed some major movies, including A Few Good Men, which was one of my favorite films. But my favorite Rob Reiner moments were on All in the Family. All in the Family, to me, is one of the greatest TV shows ever written, greatest casted shows ever written. It cannot be duplicated. It will not be duplicated. But let me tell you something, fam. Now, and I watch the reruns. So now when I watch the reruns, it's going to be different. Because when I see him now, I have to be constantly reminded of his tragic end. This uncivilized mutt, who they brought into the world, slashed their throats. He slashed their throats, family. Yeah. They got him in jail right now on a $4 million bond. I feel nothing for him. Like, I'm a straight up fam, excuse my French and pardon my vernacular, but fuck that dude. For real. For real. Let me tell you something, fam. I had moments with my mother. Well, my mother was abusive, but I never considered killing my own mama. I never considered taking the life of the person who gave me life. Once you wrap your head around doing something like that, life is over for you. You serve no purpose for humanity. There is nothing positive that you can give to humanity. You may as well go ahead and just check out. Just go ahead and check out. You take the life of the person who brought you into the world, the people who brought you into the world. This sounds like entitlement to me, fam. They say that this guy was an addict, a drug addict for years and years and years. They say he was a drug addict. And he had some mental health issues. Now, if you break that down, you would conclude that he probably faced some type of trauma. Maybe that trauma was created by his parents, or maybe he created the trauma. Sometimes kids of famous parents, the trauma is that they can't live up to their parents' accomplishments. Sometimes that's where the trauma comes from. Having a famous parent, having a famous father, right? Somebody that has so much power, right? So sometimes that's where that comes from. But needless to say, there have been millions and millions and millions of people throughout history who's had to go down, not had to go down, but who has went down that road. And they came out on the other side, or they didn't come out on the other side. Whatever happened, they didn't resort to killing their parents. So the word on the street is Rob, his wife, Michele, and their son, Nick, attended Conan O'Brien's Christmas party Saturday night. At the party, Rob and Nick got into a very loud argument, loud enough for many people to hear. Sources say that Michele left the party. Rob and Michele left the party, but they don't know if Nick left as well. So Michele had been anguishing to friends over the last few months that she and Rob were at their wits. They were at their wits' end over Nick's mental illness and alleged substance abuse issues. And they did not know what to do with their son, saying that they tried everything. Well, I wonder if they tried kicking his ass out the house. See, sometimes, family, you have to save yourself. Sometimes you're not going to be able to save everybody. You can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. Sometimes you got to just save yourself. So it looks like to me that these guys tried everything, and obviously Buddy still had access to their house. He was still allowed inside of their house because that's where he killed them at. So apparently there was something that he did not do. That was one thing that they did not try. Sometimes you got to cut people off to save yourself. And this is the way I look at that. I look at it like, if this person is treating me a certain way and putting my life in danger, they obviously don't really care about me that much. So why should I care about them that much? If you're going to put my life in danger, I got to save myself. So it looks like they tried everything but cutting him off. And it looks like to me that dude was one of those self-entitled kids. Yeah, he had that sense of entitlement. In and out of rehab, some sources report that he was in rehab 15 different times. You can't save a person who don't want to save themselves. You can't save a person who don't want to be saved. So, as you know, family, Rob and his wife were found in their LA area house on Sunday with their throats slit. Nick was arrested Monday morning and booked for murder. He's being held on a $4 million bail. 15 rehab stints. Some might say that, well, that's a failure of the industry. It is true that the industry do have a low cure rate because typically, they focus on AA and NA. You cannot help those who don't want help, rich or poor. Rich or poor, families have relatives who are drug addicts. Once a person becomes an adult and has mental health issues, there aren't any options for the parents to get their adult children help. There aren't many options. Let me put it like that. I won't say any. There aren't many. Because at the end of the day, everybody's going to say, well, he's grown. He can do what he want to do. He grown. And it is up to the individual. In most cases, it's up to the individual because they have rights. Even if his parents were adamant about putting him into a drug rehab program, he have rights and he can resist. And he can take off running every time he get a chance. Every time they try to strap him up, he can fake it out. He can fake them out and act like he okay. And the very first day that he get out, boom, he right back on the drugs. Sometimes they do drugs right there at the drug rehab facility. Those rehab centers have a modality for return business. If they cure everybody, they'd have to shut it down. Think about what I'm saying, fam. They'd have to shut it down. I guess the $60 million question is, like, what was that argument about? They were arguing loud enough for people to hear it. What was the argument about? Somebody's going to speak on it. They said others, that was the quote, others. It was loud enough for others to hear. So what was the argument about? It really doesn't matter what it was about, I guess. Maybe we just want that for context, but it really doesn't matter because there ain't no argument that you can have that would justify killing your parents. Unless your parents say, yeah, we're going to kill you tonight. It's going to be me. It's going to be us or you. You take your choice. I doubt that happened. Let me tell you something, fam. Let me tell you something. I don't know if dude lived with them. Maybe he did. Typically when you got a bunch of money like that, you can have a big old house and you can have the person, an addict living in your house, or they can be living in another wing of the house. They can be living in a house on the property. There's different quarters and stuff that people have in their home. Sometimes people have what they call a mother-in-law suite. You know, you have guest suites and stuff like that when you got that kind of money. But I'll tell you this, do not take a genius to realize that you cannot cohabitate with a junkie. I'm not doing it, fam. Hey, I love you, but hey, man, you got to get up out of here. I love you. I really do. But ain't no use to both of us dying. Ain't no use to both of us ended up wrecking our lives. Somebody got to have some sense. Somebody gonna have to bury you. You know, like, yeah, ain't no use to both of us falling off the cliff. You chose your life. You don't get to destroy my life. It's your life. If you want to destroy your life, you can destroy your life. But you don't get to take me with you. You don't get to destroy my life also. So you want to sell drugs? I know what comes with selling drugs. You can't do it in my house. You'll never have me in a situation where I'm sitting down watching television, somebody just starts shooting through the windows, and now I get hit, or one of the other kids or somebody get hit in the house. Never have me getting in the car and they thinking that it's you, or you riding with me and they open fire. Because in the drug game, you know, for a lot of people, there are no rules. They don't have any scruples. They don't give a damn. All they know is that this is an opportunity to get you, and they don't care who's in the car with you. So in this case, self-preservation. If you want to go down, all right, it's going to hurt me, but you ain't taking me with you. You're not taking me with you. What a low-down, uncivilized mutt. I was reading some blogs, some different blogs about that. And it's interesting to go to certain blogs and hear how people respond. You know, you go to certain blogs and there are people who have more of a mentality like me and the people that I see commenting right now. Then you go to other blogs and they're like, well, you know, mental health is hard. It's difficult. They're saying stuff like that. Well, you know, they should have got him some help. You know, that's unfortunate. God bless them and da 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 da. Like, they're not critical of the son at all, is what I'm saying. They have little criticism for him at all. But I know for a fact, if Buddy was of a different hue, they would have nothing but animosity for him. They'd be calling him a freeloader, self-entitled, nepo baby, all kinds of things. Yeah. I know you. It's the same way they behave when it's some type of racial issue with police officers. They give the police officer the benefit of doubt right off the bat without even knowing the facts when they kill a black person. But let them kill a white person, and here they come, or he acted too fast. Now, every now and then, yeah, they'll go ahead and say, yeah, whatever. But they even then, they find excuses for the person who got killed. Well, you know, it was mental health. He has some mental health issues. You know, they should have gotten him some help. It's unfortunate. Pray for the family. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Yeah, I have nothing. I feel nothing for this dude. Whatever he get. I do not see him having a comfortable time in prison. All that emotional stuff that he had going on, that ain't gonna work in prison. See, those inmates, is not going to give him grace like his parents gave him for years. They're not going to give him that grace. What did they say this guy was? What was he, 32, I believe? I think they said he was 32 years old. Let me check that. Let's check that out. Don't see his age right there. You look at another report. Yeah, this is cold-blooded, man. $32, yeah. Just had a birthday, well, September. 32 years old. I want to show y'all a picture, fam. This picture is very telling. It's a picture of Rob and Nick hugging. What do y'all see right there? You see that picture right there? That picture is worth 1,000 words. Look at that. Do you see what I see? Rob appears to have a genuine smile on his face. Nick, not so much. But the most telling part of this picture is the space between them. This is a father-son, and they're hugging like they're like associates or perhaps strangers. Hey, let's take this quick picture. Woo-woo. You know what? That's that space that men create with other men who they don't have a really close relationship with. That's the space that you create. You might be cool with a person, but you don't have a close relationship with that person. So, you leave a little space in between. I've never hugged my son like that. Ain't no gap. When we hug, ain't no gap between us. So I see the distance. There's distance between their bodies, and there's also distance in Nick's eyes. Look at him. He was probably thinking about killing his daddy at that point. Like, I really don't like this dude, but I need him. I need him. I need his money. I need his money. I need his connections. Yeah, Rob probably did everything he could for that boy. And that's how he got repaid. He was repaid by having his throat slashed. He met his end by having his throat slashed by his only son. Well, I won't say only son, but his son. And he also lost his wife in the same manner. Man. Yeah, this dude has checked out, family. He has checked. He's definitely checked out. He's definitely checked out. R.I.P. Rob Reiner. R.I.P. Michele Reiner. Let's get into the story about Gayle King. Gayle King. Gayle King is 70 years old, and she says she is still looking for her great love story as she keeps hope alive of one day getting married. All right, fam, that just started a whole bunch of mess on the internet. Yeah. At 70 years old, Gayle King is proving that hope to find love doesn't come with an expiration date. During a recent conversation with WNBA star Aja Wilson at Time Magazine's A Year in Time event, the longtime journalist and CBS Morning co-host shared that she is still looking for her own great love story. Gail, who has been open about her personal life over the years, spoke candidly about remaining hopeful about love and the possibility of marriage, even as this stage of her life goes. While she has built an incredibly successful career and enjoys close friendships, including her well-known bond with Oprah Winfrey, Gail made it clear that she hasn't closed herself off to romance. Instead, she approaches the idea of love with optimism and patience, emphasizing that meaningful connections can happen at any age. Gail's comments resonated with many people, offering a refreshing reminder that love isn't confined to timelines or societal expectations. I don't know about that because there's a number of people that was in the comments going crazy. Somebody said, oh, that was Boyce Watkins said, she's been married to Oprah for 40 years. Whoa, that's heavy. That's the comment right there. That's the pinned comment. My boy Hocus 45 said it's over. What do y'all think, fam? Gail is 70 years old. Is it over? Is it over? Is it over? 70? Okay, let's put it like this, fam. Let's put it like this. What if she had been married already and her husband died and she wants to find love again? Is that cool? Or is she just being penalized because she has not found her true love up to this point at all and has never been married up to this point at all? I remember back in the Gap, there was a dude who she was talking about how she loaned this guy some money and he paid her back, but she felt some type of way about it because he asked for the money in the first place. So she dumped him. Sound like to me she should stay with the dude who borrowed the money from her and paid her back. They're like, he borrowed the money and he paid her back. And she put him on blast. I don't know, fam. I don't know. Y'all think she still had that type of attitude? Here's the thing. I get it. I get it. I really do get it when women talk about it being a turnoff when a guy borrows money from them. But this is what I'm thinking, right? I'm just thinking out loud. If you're with a guy and you're trying to build a life together, this guy checks all the boxes, except his money ain't all good. His money ain't straight. His money ain't all the way right. But your money's straight. His money ain't all the way right, but he check all the other boxes. He treats you well. He's kind. He's loving. He's protective. He's honorable. He's got all these other qualities, right? But money just ain't just quite right. Is that enough for you to say, that's it, I don't want nothing to do with you? Now, I'm not saying that he's a lazy dude who don't have his money right. He trying, but it just ain't popped out for him yet. Or maybe it popped out for him and then he had a setback and he's trying to get back on top. He asked you for some money. That turned you off, but he paid you back. You cut that dude off like that? That's a cutoff right there. The way I look at it is, if you're really truly trying to build something and you really love this guy and this guy loves you, as long as it don't hurt you to loan him the money, what's the problem? If you if you're trying to build something with somebody and you can make a phone call to connect them, to help them get a contract, to help them get ahead in something, why would you deny that? Why would you not help them? And that goes for both sides, male or female. If all you got to do is make a phone call and it can help your significant other get to the next level, why not help them? If you got a platform and you know that your significant other is trying to do something major and you got a big old platform and your significant other is trying to come into some type of situation where being on your platform could help them out tremendously, why not get with that significant other and say, this is what it's going to take. Okay, look, I hear you. I want to help you, but in order for this to work, we're going to have to do it like this. And then you make it work. So maybe that time on your platform ain't but 60 seconds. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's an hour, but whatever it is, if you can help them, why not help them? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you would absolutely expect them to help you. See, I liken this to somebody who owns a car dealership and their spouse rides the bus. Their spouse has to take the bus because their spouse don't have a car. They're not taking the bus out of convenience. They're taking the bus because they don't have a car. Yet their significant other owns a car dealership. Make that make sense. I don't believe that Gayle King is ready to find a real solid dude to be in her life. Because when you have those type of stipulations, you block your blessings. Some of y'all love quoting that Bible. I don't even know if this is in the Bible. I don't even know if this is in the Bible, but I do hear people saying this all the time. And two shall become one. You know, when you get married, when you get into a relationship, get married, and two shall become one. If two shall become one, then y'all supposed to be trying to help each other at all times. See, some people who are in relationships, they're takers, they're not givers. So if the moment they get an inkling that somebody wants something from them, it's a turnoff. It's a big turnoff because they're takers, not givers. Let me tell you something right now, fam. I'm finna give you some real game. There has never been a time since I've been getting money that I've entered a relationship with a woman and she didn't become better than she was before she met me. Well, she didn't become better financially after she met me. And it's not just about finances. It's about what you sow into her. It's about the game that you give her, the information that you give her, how you teach, you coach, you counsel. All of these things, you're supposed to be sowing into your spouse and vice versa, right? All of the serious relationships that I've had with women, I've grown from those relationships. Every last one of those women helped me evolve. So if you're in a relationship If you're not in a relationship like that, you're in the wrong kind of relationship. I take it personal that if I get into a relationship with a woman, that she is going to grow. She's going to be better because she met me. And even if it don't work out, she's going to be able to reflect and say, whoa, you know, I'm better, you know, because I met him. It ain't going to be, I'm not the dude to come in and destroy. I'm a builder. I'm not going to try to destroy her. Even if it don't work out, I'm not petty like that. I'm not going to try to destroy her. But you got people that's out there that's like that. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not helping you build, they're not helping, if they're not rooting for you, you know, like, yeah, let's do it, let's grow, whatever we're trying to do. Like, now I'm not saying, you know, you, every single little idea, every whim they have that you just jump on board and be like, yeah, let's, you know, no. But I'm saying, you know, within reason, okay, let's look at this. Okay, well, how can I help? How can I be of service? How can I help you get to the next level? How can I help? But you got people out there that they're not concerned about stuff like that. They're only concerned about what they can get out of the relationship. They're only concerned about that. Family, Donald Trump, your president, this dude, Donald Trump and Steve Bannon, according to a House Oversight Committee member, had to know about Jeffrey Epstein's frolicking with young girls. They had to know. This is according to a member of the House Oversight Committee. He had to know. They had to know. Trump and Steve Bannon must have known Jeffrey Epstein was sex trafficking and abusing girls because Epstein proudly displayed photos of his victims. So says one of the members of the U.S. House Oversight Committee that's been releasing photos and documents from the Epstein estate. In a recent photo dump, there's an image of Bannon and of Epstein sitting at a desk, and on the desk is a framed photograph of what appears to be a young girl passed out on the couch. And this is the photo in question. Y'all see that? Yeah. So if you look kind of like in the middle, like almost in the middle of the screen, middle of the picture, you'll see the framed picture, and that's a girl passed out. And then he got other pictures. They're saying this dude had pictures of young girls all around the island, full display. So anybody who visited that island had to know what was going on. It's almost like this is a retreat, and these are some of the trophies. You know, this is what you get when you come to the retreat. You know, it's like if you own a club, you take pictures of the club patrons and you post it on the website. You know, if you own a restaurant, you take pictures of the people who patronize your business and you put them in frames. The pictures that you deem to be most valuable or important, you put them in a frame and you put them up on the wall. Well, it looks like that's what Jeffrey Epstein was doing, but he was posting pictures of little girls, underage girls. And all of these dudes were checking in on that island, and they saw those pictures. They talking about Diddy. Nah, man, this is way, way, way worse. And all of these dudes, I bet you $1 to a donut, not one of these guys who visited that island end up in jail behind any of this. Not one of them, including Prince Andrew. Yeah. These are some of the most powerful people in the world, fam. We're talking about here. Visiting an island where they get to play with, little kids. Let me put this in the gallery right quick. Here's a close-up of that picture. Let's see, what does it say? Okay, so we'll take that down. Click the 3 dots on your image at the bottom of the page. Okay, there we go. So you see that, fam? Now you can see the girl better now. You can see her better. She out of here. Look at that. So they probably got her on some type of drugs. Because nobody just naturally falls asleep like that. That looked like she was possibly drugged. Y'all know if these dudes were of a different hue, every single person name that pops up would be arrested and thrown in prison immediately. Look at these guys. Jeffrey Epstein is the only one so far who's been punished for his crimes. He's the only one who's been punished, and he had death by execution without a trial. Because nobody in their right mind is ever going to believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. It would be a difference if he had received a life sentence, a life sentence. He had exhausted his appeals because, people that got that kind of money, billionaires, people that's got millions, hundreds of millions, people that's got that kind of money believe that their money can get them off out of everything, out of every bad situation. So you mean to tell me that a guy who's used his money his entire life to get him out of bad situations didn't wait to see how this thing would play out? He just gonna kill himself and not enjoy all of these luxuries of life? And he would just take his life? And then when you consider that in the time that he was allegedly killed, or he allegedly hung himself, the video of the actual incident is missing somehow, some way. At the exact time that it would take for him to hang himself, the time on the video is absent. The video was cut. They said that it skipped at that time. It skipped. The video skipped. But also, the CO, not just the CO, but the COs had left their post. They were supposed to be checking on him, I think they said every 15 minutes or every 30 minutes, something like that, every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. But somehow, some way, they failed to check him at that point. They had been checking all the time, but all of a sudden, they failed to check. And this just so happens to be the time that they assumed that he was, he had died. He had hung himself. So there's no security on post during the time that he hangs himself, but there's security on post just before, and the security just happened to come back on post after the time that he killed himself. Yeah, so y'all know how that go, fam. Y'all know how that go. That man did not kill himself. So Jeffrey is the only one who has paid for his crimes. And he was killed by, I won't even say that's not even street justice, but he was assassinated. Rubbed out so that these other guys would never be exposed. They would never have to worry about being exposed. Nobody's going to jail behind this. Nobody. Because as I speak, from where I sit, from everything that I've been reading up on, out of all the people that's in those files, Trump is the most prominent person. And we know they're not going to expose him. We know for a fact they're not going to arrest him. This is the only guy in the history of America who's ever had 34 felonies and never served a day in jail. Family, are y'all ready for this? Boy, I got a story that's going to knock your feet. It's going to knock you off your feet. I got a story that's about to knock you off your feet. Check this out, family. We got this couple who has a white couple who baby came out looking black. And the wife said, hey, this is due to my ancestry. It's down the line, just down the line, but this is due to my ancestry. The baby is yours. Take him. Y'all see the resemblance, fam? Do you see the resemblance? It's not just the color. The baby got full lips already. Oh man, this is cold-blooded, man. Why she do that boy like that, man? Why she do that boy like that? An American couple has gone viral after their newborn skin tone sparked a wave of online debate. The baby appears significantly darker than both parents, and the mother explained it as a result of distant ancestry, saying old genetic traits can appear and reappear generations later. Experts agree genetics can cause surprises, but note that major skin tone differences like this are rare and usually linked to more recent hereditary, heredity. Well, some of this ain't, now this part right here, this ain't me right here, fam. This is their writing. So the story has everyone talking about how genetics really work and how much of our DNA still holds hidden surprises. Experts agree genetics can cause surprises, but note that major skin tone differences like this are rare and usually linked to more recent heredity. Linked to more recent heredity, so here's the thing, fam. That ain't his baby. That is not his baby. That is not his baby. But something tells me that dude was there when that baby was being created. He looked like he sat in the chair. That's why they got those chairs in those hotel rooms, fam. You ever see that one chair in the hotel room? Y'all, every hotel got a bed, got a desk, and it got at least one chair. Should be sitting cat-a-corner. Oh man. Yeah, man. Some tells me that dude, he know he ain't the father of that baby. But I bet you he know who the father is. I bet you he know who is the father. He absolutely looks like he sat there and watched it go down. He probably like, yeah, wait a minute, Lucille. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Let me get it. She's like, come on. I'm ready. It's close. I'm close. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, go. Okay, go. Okay. Okay, go. Come on, man. How you gonna hit Buddy with this one, man? Man, how you gonna hit Buddy with this one, man? Come on, y'all. Come on. These are two white people. White people. White and white don't make black. I don't care how you try to spin it. Man. Nah. Yeah. Buddy looked like he was in the room. It was going down. He was in the room. He was like, okay. All right. Turn around this way. She's like, I'm getting sick of you. Won't you just leave? Because you're fucking throwing me off. You're throwing me off. I can't even get off. You're throwing me off. Get out of here. Get out. No. Okay. I'll be quiet. Okay. No. Get out. He probably just walked out the room, listened to, got by the door like, and she was probably in there talking about, oh, it's so much better. And then he beat on the door. Boom. You gotta let me in. I'm gonna tell them that he's in here raping you. You better let me in. And she's like, oh God. And Buddy was like, got up, let him in. And when Buddy got up to answer the door, he probably was like, go ahead, man. Nothing. Just go. Woo! Say, man, you can't go nowhere, bro. You can't go nowhere. Where you gonna go with that baby? You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say the baby adopted. You ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. But you know what though? I feel sorry for the baby because usually in situations like this, the baby end up getting abused. Yeah, the baby will end up getting abused. The father end up abusing the baby, and abusing the woman, and then she'll end up abusing the baby too because she's blaming the baby for her mistakes. So I feel sorry for the baby because that baby ain't no way that baby gonna have a good life. No way possible. No way possible. They're gonna have to come up with a lie because if they come up with a like, yeah, that's my son. You're like, that's your son. So you adopt him? No. She went through full term and had. Oh, so she's a surrogate? She was a surrogate? No. That's my baby, my biological baby. How? Well, it has something to do. You're gonna have to ask Jenny. It has something to do with heredity, ancestry and stuff like that. You're gonna have to ask her. I'm done talking about it. Oh man, why you do buddy like that? That's not right, man. That's not right. You cannot do people like this. This is not right. It's not right. All involved is going to suffer. She's going to suffer. He's going to suffer. And the baby is going to suffer. This is just bad all the way around. This is bad all the way around. And the kid, if you look closer, the kid already got like I smell some booze. Like he already can sense it. Like he got that look on his face like, man, I don't even want to be in this picture, man. Y'all got to be on this picture. I can't even get up and walk off. Man, I don't want to be in this picture. Whoo, man. This is bad, man. This is bad. This is bad. Ain't no way that's his baby. No way possible. Absolutely no way possible is that his baby. Even if they, look, let me tell you something, family. If I'm in his shoes, even if that is my baby, that ain't my baby. Even if that is my baby, that ain't my baby. Oh, hell no. Man. Oh, hell no. You ain't gonna have me out here looking like a cuckold. Oh, no, a cuckle. Yeah, that's what they call them, cuckles. You're not gonna have me out here looking like a cuckle. No way possible, man. That ain't my baby. Somebody else's baby. Yeah. It's gonna be a whole lot of trauma from this. A whole lot of trauma, mental health issues. Oh yeah, this is going to be bad. This is not cool. I do believe that they're taking those pictures and stuff just for shine. I think they're doing this for clout. Ain't no way you're supposed to be showing these pictures off like this. Man, you're supposed to be inside the house with therapists. You know, be talking like you need to be blinds closed, no visitors, trying to come up with a game plan. You need to be in the war room with your pastor, your brothers, your sister, whoever the closest people in your tribe, the people that you trust, your confidants. Everybody need to be in one, y'all need to be in one room trying to figure this out. Like, in fact, before you even get to that part, you need to be in there. He should have been in the room for about 30 days by himself, trying to just walking around pacing back and forth. Pizza boxes lining up in the corner, on the floor, booze, empty bottles of wine, beer, everything. He should be like just sick, like And she need to be just knocking on the door like, you okay in there? Are you okay? You okay? I'm just checking on you. Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, all right. Damn it. Yeah, I'm okay. He need to be in there trying to like just pacing, trying to figure it out. Every now and then she come through. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When that DNA test happens, nobody's going to be surprised. Nobody's going to be surprised. But you know what? Sometimes when people are in love and they're not really thinking straight, and then if you add on top of that, if a person is like naturally slow, sometimes they'll believe stuff like this. They'll believe it. Like, yeah, man, that's my child, man. That's my baby. That's my boy. Yeah, that's my child. Say something about him, boy, I blacken your eye. That's my child. That's my child. But eventually, the weight of the world, it would just be too much. It would be too much. And eventually, he'll turn on that baby. He's going to turn on that baby. Ain't no way possible. No way possible. He's going to turn on that baby, and she's going to turn on that baby. I say, little man, blink twice, bro. Blink twice, little man. Looked like he was halfway there on that left eye. Looked like he was halfway there trying to blink, letting us know, hey, man, something ain't right. In any event, I wish them well. I really do genuinely wish them well. I hope everything works out for them and that baby. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one. All right, family. Okay. Let's get into this Trey Songz situation here. Trey Songz was recently arrested for putting hands on a dude. Yeah. Trey Songz was arrested for putting hands on a dude, family. Yeah. So there's an article that was in the New York Post that says R&B singer Trey Songz was busted for punching a Manhattan nightclub employee in the face in a tantrum over being told the spot was closing, prosecutors said Sunday. The 41-year-old singer, whose real name is Tremaine Neverson, was partying with his crew at Times Square spot Drama nightclub when a worker told him it was closing time around 4:25 a.m. on December 4th, sparking him to become needlessly irate, prosecutors said in Manhattan criminal court. Neverson was arraigned on an assault charge for the club clash and was hit with additional charge of mischief in the second degree for an unrelated incident earlier Sunday morning at Myra, a restaurant and hookah lounge in Manhattan. The early morning incident saw the slow motion singer allegedly break around $1,500 worth of restaurant property, including hookahs, DJ equipment, and sofas, according to the complaint against him. Man, come on, Trey Songz. Trey Songz, come on, man. You know you can't be doing all of that, bro. Trouble is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. You do not want to find yourself in these type of situations. Trey Songz has been in the media a lot lately for these type of well, not these type of incidents, but you know, all kinds of incidents. Come on, Trey, we pulling for you, bro. You ain't got to get out there like that. You know, you gotta be careful. It's too easy to get caught up. You have people say, well, man, you know, how you get caught up like that, man? You know, he's a celebrity, he got this, he got that. Let me tell you something, man. Sometimes being a celebrity can increase your chances of getting caught up in stuff. That's why you got to understand how to move. You got to move around people who got good energy. How do you go into a restaurant and tab $1,500 worth of stuff? You already know. You Trey Songz. I don't even believe Trey Songz did that. That don't sound right. The report sounds incomplete to me. I know Trey Songz, and I don't remember Trey Songz ever being that type of person. I don't remember him being the type of person that was unhinged. You know, he always seemed like the type of person that was laid back, cool, relaxed, you know, calculating, you know. Yeah, he want to have fun just like everybody else, but I don't remember him being like irate like that. But I do believe that sometimes when you get in the media and people start hearing certain things about you, they start thinking that they know you, and people will try you. So you got to keep in mind, look, man, you can't move the way other people move. I'm surprised that Trey Songz is caught up in something like this because, like I say, I don't remember him being that type of person. But I do know that Trey got hands. I have heard that Trey Songz will put hands on you. Put them hands on you. Yeah, but Trey, you got to be careful. You got to be careful, especially being a celebrity. You got to be careful out there because there are people that are going to target you, and they're trying to get that money. I remember that when Charles Barkley threw that dude through the window, the guy that was taunting him, and Charles Barkley threw the dude through the window, and I think he ended up paying him like $100,000 or something like that. But you got people that know that they can push your buttons. They know you're a hothead. There are people out there that are willing to take that chance. They don't mind losing a few teeth. They don't mind getting a knot on their head. You know, they don't mind getting touched up a little bit to get some easy free money. So that's why you got to have people around you to serve as a buffer to kind of get between that type of stuff. You need to have somebody around you, man, if that's all you want contact, or you like to get out like that, well, here you go. Ding, ding, fries and shake. You gone, you gone. The money man, the golden goose is gone. You can't get no money out of the golden goose. So now you got to try to figure out how to sue this guy who don't have any money. And the lawyer don't want to really sue a guy that don't have any money because you go into the lawyer trying to get the lawyer to take the case on pro bono. And the lawyer's like, nah, I ain't going to be able to do that because dude ain't got no money. So now you stuck. You ain't got no action. So what you going to do at that point? You're going to call it L. You're going to take the L and keep on moving because you're going to realize you put yourself in that position. But if it's Trey Songz, now you got action. So Trey Songz need to make sure that he got himself a buffer. Let these other dudes, hey man, there's people out there that look forward to doing that. They want to do that. You put these guys on the payroll, let them handle that type of stuff. If they get jammed up, pay for the lawyer and get it handled and keep it moving. These type of things. Ain't nobody going to jail for a gang of years for no bar fight, right? Unless you are a celebrity and you clock somebody in the head with a bottle, you bust their head to the white meat, and you ain't got no money. You done fell off you're probably going to go to jail. But you got to know, it's dudes out there who ain't got nothing to lose. They ain't got no money. They're looking for a quick come up. And then today also, everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody trying to get a viral moment. So they got their friend recording. Sometimes they're recording the incident themselves. So they already recording. They're trying to get a viral moment. Don't give them the viral moment. If they get the viral moment, make sure that they're ashamed of that viral moment. Make sure that they come out on the losing end of that viral moment. Give them something that they're not expecting. Yeah, you want to go viral? Okay, you're going viral, but it ain't going to be the way you think. That's how you do that. Going into the comments. China Carter, what up? Buckhorse. What's up, Buckhorse? Buckhorse 10. I remember Buckhorse DC. Prince of Judah. What it do? Amazing Love. John Johnston. Tawana Sanders. Big Nab. Marlon Reed. What's up, Marlon? Yeah, Johnny Blaze. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that would have been a huge mistake. Yeah, he's talking about how Trey almost picked a fight with Bud Crawford, not knowing who he was. Yeah, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. Joe Blast, what up? Annie Robinson. China Bees, what's up? China Bees. Okay, that's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Same bad time, same bad channel tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. That's 12 noon on the West Coast. On the East Coast, that's 3 p.m. You dig? No more talk.